Hello, everybody. This is B from Kongs R Us and Mrs. Kongs R Us. Good evening.
Good evening. I hope you brought your drinks. There's no coffee, but this is a shaken seltzer. So maybe
Oh,
I'll
is
open
it?
it.
Did you drop my drink, Mrs. Kongs R Us, for a Sunday? Where she's been liking to sleep in a little bit more on Sundays, and so I asked her, would you be willing to do an evening stream instead of a Monday stream? And she's like, yes, I will. And so I thought this would be a fun time slot to go because unfortunately our good buddy Justin Console Kits isn't feeling well right now. He's feeling under the weather. So normally folks would be watching him around 7 p.m. Eastern. So please wish him well right after today's show at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Head on over to 19K Fox. He has some good stuff happening for you. But we thought we'd just jump in with the Sunday Funday topic. I didn't even know what I just said. Sunday Funday. Talking about something that I really haven't talked much about, which is my iiRcade. So today's topic for the day, I asked Mrs. Kongs R Us. I said, hey, would you be interested in playing Donut Dodo? What was the first reaction you had when I asked you to play a game called Donut Dodo?
I really hope there's donuts or Dodo.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers.
And so we're going to be talking about it because I haven't done a ton of content on my iiRcade, and I was thinking about the reasons why, and I wanted to go over some of those reasons why, explain a little bit my thought process about that game system console, and get your thoughts in the community about, the iiRcade in general, its current state, where we'd like it to be. Is it really one of the things that belongs in your home arcade? So those are the questions we're going to be asking today. I see Papa Brad is here. War is here. Ritual Dello is here. Ravens P is here.
Beer.
Thank you for the $5 super chat. It says whiskey, Coke, check. Jean Shorts, check. Kongs R Us live, check. Thank you so much, PDevs Arcade Loft, for the $5 super chat. We appreciate you tons. And since this is our Funday Sunday show, we like to show off a little bit of Mrs. Kongs R Us anytime we can. And we're going to give you some Morgan.
I always play that hottie Morgan when I get a chance. She really knows how to shoot her cannon off to keep her opponents at bay.
We just did a Darkstalkers tournament last night.
Yeah.
We missed you. But thanks for the super chat. That's fun. I saw that page out of 19K Fox's book when people give super chats. So always fun to relive some best moments with Mrs. Kongs R Us. Is that one of your favorite moments or no? You don't like dressing up?
That was a really interesting. I have no idea what I'm looking at. Am I looking at this camera?
Mm-hmm. This camera.
There we
right
go.
Here. Mm-hmm.
It's like all over the place sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Some costumes are fun. Some are. That one was just complicated because you had the wing thingies and you can't do much with wing thingies.
Yeah, it's a little bit fun. Hello, Michael B is here. Says hello, Mrs. Kongs R Us. Hello, bad boy of home arcade. So Michael B has this fun little inside joke calling me the bad boy of home arcade because I've been kicked out of 2 influencer groups from the home arcade groups. So,
wow, what did you do?
I was a bad boy, to Michael B's point. So I try to keep it a little bit fresh. What's up, Jolly Green's here, Nooner's here as well. You're only doing it because it's the only company that's probably still wanting to work with you. Funny enough, Michael B, talking about iiRcade, I know they have an influencer program, but I've never gotten anything from that group or asked to be it or even knew how to join the iiRcade influencer group. I did get invited to go to the Game and Brew event in around E3 last year. I think it was June of last year where I got to go to downtown LA. I met Michael. I met some of the team. I got to see some of the Space Ace cabs and the other Beach Buggy design cabs before they release. But that's like the only iiRcade influencer thing that I've done. But beyond that, I haven't done anything else iiRcade. I've never got any free games from them. I don't think I've really had a conversation with Jong before.
Your setup is so janky right now. He just kicked his camera.
I know. So my camera is being kicked around right now. It's okay. It's working. All right. So my audio visual isn't the best. People don't come to watch me because I have the best quality camera setup. They come because of you. They come for the Kongs R Us, for the misses. Yes. Okay. But yeah, so back to Michael G's point. iiRcade, I haven't joined their influencer group. And I don't know after today's stream if they will, because I wanted to give you quote unquote my truth about the iiRcade. And for folks that can kind of guess where this is going, I'll just say straight off the bat to kick the show off, I don't play it that much. I really don't. I'm gonna give this to Mrs. Kong the rest to go through the chat and just kind of talk through my thought process. So I have another camera set up behind me so we can get in front of the iiRcade. I want Mrs. Kong the rest to actually live play Donut Dodo for the folks and get her honest opinion about that game. Some of the other games that I have, I looked through my phone on the iiRcade account to check how many different games I purchased from the iiRcade over the last year and a half that I've owned it. And I think it's close to like 40 games that I've purchased for the iiRcade. So
Wait, what? You bought all these games and you never
do.
play it.
Okay, so this is confession time, right? So iiRcade is like a console. You buy digital games for these, and I follow the community and I watch people play these new games and they come out and I was like, that sounds like a cool title that I want to play. And then I purchased them and I've bought like over 40 games from them. But the problem is
You don't
you
play
don't
it.
see me playing it. So I'm going to go through the list
I think
of
our cats play it more
that,
than you do. They're always turning it on.
that's exactly what I was
And then
gonna-
they managed to get to the bomber squad, which is like super loud.
that was one of my main points, is that I think my cats play it more than I do. They use it as a cat bed, and then one of our cats has a big butt and continually turns it on, and
Two of them now.
so it turns on like in the middle of the day, and sometimes their paw just steps on the volume up button, and then all of a sudden it's just going and then it gets really loud. So yeah, they definitely got some more playtime on the iiRcade. But I wanted to do some live gameplay because yes, I was confessing that I don't play it that much. This is true, but there's some other reasons that I don't play it as often, and I want to go over some of those reasons why in a little bit too. So hopefully you guys are interested in hearing my opinions on iiRcade currently. And funny enough, I've never even done a full-on review of the iiRcade on my channel. I've done some gameplay videos. I've had this for about a year. I've been talking to Mrs. Kongdura saying like, hey, let's record some content to do a review of the iiRcade. But the further and further I pushed it out, the more and more I felt motivated to do it. I thought there was a lot of great reviews out there. And this is probably a good or a bad thing, but I've followed and watched the iiRcade community streams, and I like the people so much that sometimes like I feel bad if I want to say my honest truths about it. So this is my confession to kind of just live stream, talk over some thoughts about it, and say what's really on my mind. What is he saying?
iiRcade's a high-end litter box.
This might be true. So yeah, let's go over some of the iiRcade details and my opinions on some of the things I'd like to see change. And maybe this will help change my mind as the future of iiRcade continues to grow. There's the iiRcade 2.0 version that's coming out pretty soon. So there's another version of it. Do I want to upgrade it? And I have a big conundrum, honestly. If you can tell, I have the Dragon Slayer version of the iiRcade, and I pre-ordered an Arcade 1-Up Dragon Slayer.
Would you like to read this one?
Sure. Says, besides Dildo and Retromania Wrestling Friday Night, iiRcade has been collecting dust bunnies.
I could see where WrestleMania is, but,
yeah, exactly. If I can speak my truth, I feel like Michael B has something he wants to say, right? So Michael B has been talking about iiRcade, lots of things. It's really fun. Just buy the games with the leaderboards and online play with iiRcade. So Arcade O, by the way, is actually HDR champion. He's the guy that beat me last night in the Dark Circus tournament. So first off, apologies, but screw you, HDR champ, because he's an amazing fight game character guy. And literally every tournament I join, I run into HDR champ, aka Arcado, and he always takes me out. So last night we played in the finals. So big F you, F bombs. Can't even say it quick because it's a Sunday Funday show. But cheers. Thank you, Arcado.
I think we might be pretty. This is an 8%.
Is it? I'm gonna be really trashed
yours
by the end of it.
4%.
Okay. Anyways, mango seltzer. This is pretty good. I'll just leave this here. But Arcadio, thank you for the mention. But yeah, he's a really tough opponent to play against. But that's actually one of the reasons that drives me to play these games is the competitive nature of these cabinets. So last night I was playing Darkstalkers 3. HDR champ was amazing. War got third place. But yeah, so Michael B, the Game Genie, what does he says? He says, I would upgrade. You need a new place to put your Mandalorian ship.
Sweet Lord, that thing just sits. It's currently sitting on top of your
Infinity
Legends.
game table. Yeah. So I have $1,000 Infinity game table stand. You knew how much it cost. That's why I'm
Yes.
saying we need to use it as a real coffee table so we can actually use it. That's what we need to do.
Do y'all hear this? He doesn't get any sponsors. He pays for each and every one of these machines. I'm doing the accounting and I'm like, what is happening here?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's all part of the hobby. It's all part of the fun. But okay, so iiRcade, what do you think about the cabinet in general? Like, what are your true, honest opinions about like the first time I got it? What do you think about the looks of the cab? First off,
Well, it sat downstairs forever next to my workstation.
did it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Because you didn't move it up for a long time.
this is true. It was
And, like,
heavy.
you know,
It was a quality cabinet. It took
it
a
was
little
a
while
qu-
to build.
It was
Mhm.
a quality cabinet. The
Mhm.
artwork is amazing. I like that it's like shiny and glossy. I hate the fact that the on button is so easy to turn on because
Yeah.
our cats without thumbs can turn them on.
This is true. Another interesting point. You make a good point, Mrs. Kongzaras. What else? What else are your first impressions of the iiRcade?
It sort of reminds me more of like those like DDR, like it's gonna try to catch you with like a blinky marquee, but it doesn't blinky.
Yeah, so there's no lit marquee. It's plain.
It's plain, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you said you didn't have to buy this version. There was like another version of the skin too. So I guess I like that like there's two types of skins that you can buy.
Mhm.
So at least gives you some options.
The original one was just like this plain black one, but as soon as the Kickstarter released the Dragon's Lair version of it, I was like, ooh, I like the artwork.
Good lord, your area is warm. All your machines are on.
It is getting really hot in here. I'm like getting really, really shiny. So yeah, that I was curious about Mrs. Kongza's first thoughts on it because I always envisioned wanting to play these games with my family. And so one of the first folks that played it, like the first games I ever played was Bomb Squad. And so my son really likes that game for Bomb Squad. And so I originally thought, oh, this would be a cabinet that at least my kids can play. It would be like the easiest MultiCade that they can just jump on and play some games and get introduced to some things. So they played that for a little while, right? They were into that for a little bit. But after that, as soon as it got set into my space upstairs, I don't think we've ever I probably have turned it on over the past year only to download the new games that I purchased and maybe play a handful of them. In fact, when the games that I purchased and played the most were the Dragon's Lair 2 game when they came out. I bought Space Ace when it came out, and I was playing those because I wanted to play those namesake games on the cabinet. And I spent a lot of time on those cabinets because I enjoyed those Laserdisc games, and like I like rhythm-based games, and so things with arrows and buttons, and I can follow along. That's why I like using the arrows. I enjoyed those games, but any of the other games, I hadn't really played them that much. I really turned it on just to test it, and then the only games, honestly, that I ever really got challenged to play were when I heard other people hyping up and playing those games. I think I'm one of those creatures of habit that follows the crowd on whatever the new popular thing is. And so there was a good time in the community where people were talking about a game called Eggs. Do you remember this?
That's another game that the cats turn on that's really loud.
Yeah,
too.
Jeff Rainwater was talking about Eggs. A lot of folks were talking about Eggs. And so I was like, what is this game? And so I played it just to see if I could play it. And I was playing it for a while. So it's just like one of those things. Same thing with Truxton. Truxton was another game. It's the shooting, like a shoot 'em up game. It's like a little. If you saw me playing it, I was playing it for like hours straight because I think it was UAG and OTG and Rexer were talking about playing Truxton and posting high scores. And I was just playing it literally only to chase them and beat their score. Like I'm so driven by competition that unless there's like somebody else that I'm chasing that I really want to play, then that's the only reason why I'll play the game. In fact, when I was playing Dragon's Lair, the only reason why I wanted to play that game so much was so I could beat Prentice Howard. I need somebody to chase in order to play some of these games. And if I don't have that motivation to do it.
So you just gave everyone an open invitation. As long as on your stream you say, I'm going to take you on Kongzaras, he will play the game.
Maybe I do need some more motivation. Maybe I need to join the iiRcade Zone. There's other shows in a big community. Like there's the iiRcadians, iiRcade Zone. They do a lot of community streams where they're challenging people consistently. There's leaderboards. There is a good community of it, but I haven't found myself like really longing to like just jump into any singular game. And so big titles, like the biggest title right now on the iiRcade, the #1 game that's downloaded right now is Retromania Wrestling. Have you heard of that game?
Didn't we play it on?
Yeah, we did a stream about it right when it came out, right?
Yeah.
Did I ever play it since then?
Nope. But yeah, so then that's why Arcado was saying agreed. That's why leaderboards are so important. So is there actually remind me if there's a leaderboard for iiRcade, or is that okay?
So some games have a leaderboard system where it's online and you can
interesting.
check your
Okay.
your score against other people. Yeah. So but that's a game that's a marquee game, but like I wanted it just to buy it. I bought it day one, full price, talked about it, and then like I just never found myself playing it. And so I think there's two things. Maybe it's not the iiRcade, maybe it's just my arcade in general, and me having a ton of games that are multicades, that I've been drawn to playing more games that are easier to play. Hence my Big Blue and my Marvel vs. Capcom get the majority of my playtime, because I can get in there, play a very quick matchup in a game, feel satisfied after a 10 to 15 minute matchup, or sometimes an hour long matchup if I'm playing a couple people FT5, FT10s. And so maybe like I'm figuring out what type of gamer I am, and what systems really work well in my arcade. So I'm trying to like quote unquote learn what type of gamer I am. Go ahead. What does it say? Do I still play my Stern pinball machine? Do I play it? Come on, I do. I turn it on.
You turn it on and it's noisy, but that's it.
It's beautiful. I do feel guilty when I don't play it, because I spent so much on it about a year ago, and I used to play it consistently, like every week. I turn it on at least once a week and play it. Maybe once every 2 weeks. Okay,
once your dad comes over.
Yeah, same thing with my Legends pinball machine. Like I have more fun. I guess this is something that modders can really relate to, is that the people enjoy the modding process more than playing the game.
Aww.
And so as I have more projects, that's part of it too. So maybe that's what it is. What does that say? Red Lack says, Mrs. Kong is very patient and needs to be studied, so we can clone her for allowing you to have so many arcades.
It's all the
Cheers
beers.
to that.
It's all
Cheers
the
to that.
beers that you let me buy, that I purchased on my own.
So I think here's the truth about the iiRcade and just all the arcades in my place. I don't think I'm a fan of multicades. This is where I'm getting at. So my Star Wars mod is a great example of this, right? My Star Wars mod, the very first mod that I ever did, what made my channel popular, what people will still commission me to help them mod their Star Wars panel. The only time I play it is when I'm modding it for other people and testing the games for other people. Like I never sit down and play my MultiCades, my modded Star Wars cabinet. It's a brilliant cabinet. I love the game list. I could play Daytona. I can play Stun Runner. I can play Road Blasters. I can play anything on it, and it's fun. But I don't find myself like gravitating to search for the games and play it, even though I curated a really good playlist for that. Same thing with I would say my Tron cabinet. So here's another confession. All right. So like my Tron cabinet, right? It's a beautiful cabinet, but I went and modded it. And what did I do? When I modded it, I turned it into a MultiCade. And this MultiCade now has tons of games on it. And I lost the high score functionality off of that. And a part of me regrets it, because I don't chase other people playing it. I have fun playing the game, but without that motivation to go there, I find myself not like playing these games. So like I found that online play is so important for me. Being involved in community events like tournaments or even a high score chase or something like that is really important to me as a gamer. And so I'm looking for that aspect in all the cabs that I purchase moving forward. So it's not just about getting the cabs. I do like them for the looks, but I think this is me. Console Kits, I hope you're feeling better, man. He says, if I want to save money on a Stern, gotta buy it brand new.
No, you don't.
Yeah. Should I do another confession or no?
Are you kidding me?
No. Okay, so I didn't buy it yet, but I've legit had the Godzilla Stern Premium in my cart for like the last week, waiting to press send.
No.
And so it won't come for another year and a half. So we don't. It's not coming tomorrow or anything, but it would be an amazing cabinet.
Space do you have here? There's like no.
We have tons of space. We can slide this over. We can get rid of this. We're gonna get rid of that.
Oh my
Godzilla Premium, right? I mean, it would be amazing to
He's
have.
talking about pushing cabs next to each other where you can't even walk in to play a cab.
Yeah, I like this here. Michael B was saying Michael B stole my encoder board. Yes, so this is true. I sent my original Tron encoder board to Michael B, and he's holding it hostage.
Keep it.
I know. No,
Do
he's
not
supposed to
give it
send it
back.
back to me
Do
because
not give it back.
I was what I was gonna do was, since I modded it, I was gonna make a mini Tron so I can still play the online boards, but I cannot. But yeah,
Why would you need a mini Tron? Just
Ah.
redo this one.
I got a bedroom, Godzilla in the bedroom. Ooh, I can get a Jurassic Park Pro. Oh, so I really do need. I need.
No.
I'm looking for a premium.
No.
I really am. So Cybermind says, "Do it." Terry Red's here. He says, "Young love." So forgiving. Godzilla Star Wars as a is greater than Star Wars as Stern Pinball. Yeah, I as a Star Wars pinball machine, it's okay. It's not the best. I really like the Godzilla Premium. It's really, really fun.
I
So,
just remember when your brother and your
Mhm.
brother-in-law and my brother helped you drag this beast up here,
Mhm.
and all I hear is, "Don't drop it! Don't drop it! Don't drop it!"
yeah, I would sell a lot of things to get that. So
my sweet
Godzilla
lord.
Premium.
What
It's,
is Sean doing?
it's
Don't
literally
give us money. I don't want him to buy any more things.
it's literally rated the #1 pinball game on the Pinside Top 100 of all time. Any pinball game ever created of all time. Godzilla Premium, the #1 game.
You don't even watch the
Ever.
movie.
It's only I'm a
wait,
big
first,
Godzilla
Sean.
fan. Okay, Sean. Sean says, "What are each of your favorite games? What's your favorite game?
The one where I stay home and drink.
Drinking games? Cheers.
Cheers.
Does that count? For me, I think it really depends on the console. I think I still gravitate to the Super Nintendo being one of my favorite consoles of all time.
Yeah.
And my favorite game of all time on that console is Chrono Trigger. So Michael B's here saying, no, it's not even on his top 10. But yeah, so Chrono Trigger is probably like one of my favorite RPG games of all time. It was my intro song for a long time. You've heard me talk about Chrono Trigger for a long time growing up, right?
Your
Yeah.
son is very
Yeah.
much into it too.
Yeah. Yep. There
Oh,
it
we're
is.
talking about game games and not just arcade games.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite game that's not an arcade?
I want to say like the Sonic games are actually my favorite one. So it's funny.
Which
that you
one?
said
1, 2, or
Super
3?
Nintendo. It has to be 3
Really?
Yeah.
Knuckles?
because then you can fly with Tails. Like Tails can actually pick you up and fly around.
Mhm.
Like that was the fun part when I was playing Genesis growing up with my brother. He would play
Mhm.
Sonic and he'd let me play Tails. And then in the second one, it's great because you can like sort of do stuff. But then in the third one, you can actually pick up Sonic and fly around with it. And that was pretty badass.
Nice. So are you a Genesis girl or more a Nintendo girl?
I think I'm still a Nintendo girl. There's only
Yeah.
a few Genesis games I like. The Sonic series was definitely the one I liked. And then well, you see me play like Earthworm Jim all the time.
So for fans that are speaking of spinning things with your butt, this is Mrs. Kongduras's amazing talent with her butt. Set, go. Now tell me, have you? She's like going up the wall. Have you ever seen anybody do? Come on, that woman's talented, right?
I think I like the video more for Michael B's reaction than anything.
Yeah, and the iiRcade does make a pretty backdrop, so that's pretty fun. But yeah, so War says it's amazing how a bunch of us like the exact same pinball machines are the ones that you want also. Yeah, Godzilla would be your favorite new. It's really good. Complete Geek TV, see all the people that are saying Godzilla is an amazing pinball machine. Y'all need to help me convince Mrs. Kongduras that this would be a good value purchase to add into anybody's arcade.
So these folks,
if you can afford it.
these
I mean,
folks
it's
can-
really expensive.
these
but
folks can purchase it
it's
and
totally
have it in
affordable.
their homes.
Mhm.
We don't have the space.
I think we could. You love Star Wars, but Godzilla is premium. Just buy
Stop
it.
it,
That's
Papa
what I'm
Brock.
saying. All right, P-Dubs Arcade Loft with another $5 super chat. Thank you so much. What does it say? You want to read it?
Games I own are Arcade 1-Up cabinets. I play at the Arcade 1-Up cabinets. Whoop. Games I own in Arcade 1-Up cabinets. I play on Arcade 1-Up cabinets.
MultiCades.
Cades, sorry. I play and discover your camera's in the way.
and
And all different weird stuff I've never heard of. Very true.
Yeah. So the thing about multi-cades, if you're running, say, one of those giant Battle Sarah or Hyperspin drives that have thousands of games, or even Wolfenose, one of the Wolfenose Hirschty 32 gigabyte Raspberry Pi image was one of the first things that got me into playing arcades again. And you do discover a lot of random games, and that's sort of like what the iiRcade does. It introduces you to those randoms, and it's fine to scroll through and look through those. But even then, I prefer scrolling and looking at those menus because they're prettier than I do my iiRcade ones, because they're not as fun to look through in both the user interface and the system. And that's actually one of my biggest complaints. I actually want to get over there and take a look at it. So Michael B says, boo Chrono Trigger, boo Michael B, boo Michael B. Oh man. So you have a crush on the Battlestar front end right now. It's really good. All right, so you bring up a really good point. Let's talk about front ends. Actually, do you want to head on over to the iiRcade right now? We're gonna switch positions.
Burger Time and Earthworm Gyms are both
on the iiRcade.
Oh,
also for the newer games.
Why have
There's
you
Earthworm
purchased
Jim on
Earthworm
iiRcade?
Jim? Yeah.
There is?
I don't know. That's what they sell says.
Yeah. All right. We can do that. All right. So we can check that out. Oh, Terry Red says use the popper voice and get to the game you want instantly. Terry Red, you do all these other next, like, so pin up popper is that front end here that says, I am now playing with your balls, or like, I'm now loading the game. And you can actually command set it up to do lots of things.
Yeah, someone else is
the
saying
great
there's-
Terry Red, everybody.
Yeah.
Someday we'll get him on a stream to talk about it.
Oh.
He's one of the best pinball gurus ever
And
out there.
Michael B confirmed that Earthworm Jim.
There is no Earthworm Jim on the arcade. That's what I'm saying. If there was, I think I would have. It's what is the other game? The game that Shotgun Sean really likes. Toe Jam and Earl. Maybe that's what you're thinking about. Did you ever play that game?
Not Earthworm Jim.
It is not Earthworm Jim. It sounds like it. It looks like it.
No,
but
it
yeah.
hasn't.
All right. So that interface of the iiRcade needs a facelift for sure. They say they're working. All right. That's exactly what I get to. All right. So we're gonna switch positions. Mrs. Kongzarus is gonna walk over to the iiRcade right now. So there is Mrs. Kongzarus right over there. Hello, hello. So she's there, and we're going to showcase also our iiRcade menu right there. So Mrs. Kongzarus. Okay.
I need my beer.
You need your beer. Go get your beer.
I'm almost done with this one.
Okay. So here, I'm going to kind of run shotgun here. She's going to sit right there so people can see her. And can you just scroll through the iiRcade, move the joystick, and just look for a game. What do you think of this user interface looking through games right now? What's your first reaction to it? I'm going to try to move the mic closer to you. What did you say?
Why isn't it alphabetized?
Why is it not alphabetized?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me move this. I'm going to actually go with you. We're going to move locations.
Oh, wow. It doesn't even start over when you get to the bottom. It makes you go back to the top. Oh, but then reset all.
All right, you got to talk into the mic, babe.
Oh, hello.
Here you go.
Hello, everyone. How are you
Right.
doing? I am finding this most awkward.
All right, so now we're in front of our iiRcade.
There's a
And
jukebox.
there is a jukebox mode. Yeah. So what are your first impressions of the system?
It's like, yeah, it's truly all over the place. Okay, I get recent, all, beach buggy. Oh, this is alphabetized. But your recent was not alphabetized. Oh, I guess recent by like, but then if it's recent by when they released it, like you should have a date next to it. Action, that's alphabetized. Oh, ew. So you have to like go all the way back to the top to be able to use like their categories.
Yeah. So this interface here is probably like reason number one.
Whoa.
Serve a level lot. Yeah.
I love as you said that you like thrusted forward.
I
Hello?
did not thrust further. I'm just giving you hugs.
This is a family show.
It's the number one reason why I don't.
thrusting
I'm not
forward.
thrusting forward. I'm just trying to get close to the microphone. It's the number one reason why I don't enjoy playing, like turning it on and trying to just navigate through it. Like as a MultiCade, I want MultiCades to look and feel really beautiful to navigate. It's actually the almost, I would say the most fun part of a MultiCade is exploring the games and the menu system. So for example, let me switch this over. This is an example of my Tron front end that I put together. And this is an example of a Launchbox BigBox front end. And just look, so I have a Tron playlist, and then I just scroll through, and now this is my shoot 'em ups playlist. And now I have a flying playlist.
Is that Glenn's?
It is. This is not Glenn Stick, unfortunately. Trongate, hashtag Trongate. We need to talk about that at some point in time. But this is the playlists, like at the top of this iiRcade, there's like playlists that say fighting games, platform, jukebox. You can have a main playlist, and then once you jump into the playlist, then you can have your wheel of games. This basic wheel with video snaps and playing through the games and looking this way is probably like one of the most fun things about exploring MultiCades.
That's
It's
very true. Because like when you come here, like say for example, I'm like scrolling,
Mhm.
say like, oh, you know what? I really want to
You
play.
barely
fighting
just
games.
see the image on the background too,
I
right?
have to go back to the top to scroll to the fighting.
Yeah. So one, it's not even used to, like, can you go left and right or no?
I can go left and right, but then
Okay.
like once you hit one that has a list, if
Uh-huh.
you go down here, you can't go. Oh,
you can't go left
JK,
and right.
you can go left and
You
right.
can't go left and right.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you barely see an image of it. And then besides just reading the title, it's like looking at the title of a book and not watching parts of the gameplay.
Yeah.
So it's, you want to see that video
like,
mode.
Sydney Hunter and the
Yeah, and even cuts off. Even look at this. Even Sydney Hunter, when you're looking at the name of the game, this whole system has been out for a year and a half. This has to be like the number one thing. Just pointing out what you say nobody points out.
Icons
So
not plain letters.
Icons, just plain letters. Yeah, so I just wanted to reiterate, this is probably like my biggest sore point, and something that a lot of reviews have mentioned is that this needs a facelift. I know they've done a lot of things like online play, online leaderboards, but I don't know how or what they could do to really lift this. But it's just, if this is really a MultiCade that's in your house and you want people to explore it, to find those gems, you need to do a better job of making sure that people can scroll and make sure they entice to play the games. There is something called an attract mode. If you just leave this like not playing, it'll play some videos of random games that you don't own in general, but it won't be like the games that you particularly own.
That you don't.
Yeah, because they don't have the ability to look at what games you have, because everybody has a different combination of games. But I don't know, the media on a front end is so important, and I've built so many of my own custom playlists, between my gun playlist, between my Tron playlist, between my Launchbox Star Wars playlist, my Outrun. It's not that you have a million games on here, but like, so Tron plays really well. These are all the classic arcade games that work with a spinner and a flight stick. You have Arkanoid, Blasteroids, Gorf, Ikari Warriors, Major Havoc, Mad Planet, Space Harrier. So these are all fun games that I just like exploring. Which one is that? Dodonpachi.
Good job.
Yeah.
Put your Japanese minor to test.
Ha 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 ha. Space Harrier, Star Trek, play some Tempest. But again, I do end up looking at this more than I do playing it. So it is one of those catch-22 things. But so, do I like MultiCades? This is a big question for me. Like, what do I want to do with the MultiCades? Hey, look, there's the Super Game Room dudes. See, this is the attract mode now.
No.
Yeah, so it's just playing.
That was...
Yeah, they just showed the Super Game Room dudes and the Retro Buzz were inside of the game. So this is Retromania Wrestling for those that want to play it. But let's have you play one of the unique games that we were talking about. Go find Donut Dodo and let's play some Donut Dodo for the fans to see how it feels like playing one of these classic games. So let's get Mrs. Kongzarus's first impressions of playing Donut Dodo. This is like the new, like, I guess, darling of the iiRcade community. Everybody loves this game so much. So, all right.
Am I the dodo or am I the chef?
You're the little chef.
Oh, I'm the chef.
Yes.
I was watching the dodo the entire time.
No. So what do you think you have to do in the game?
Oops. Collect donuts.
Collect donuts and dodge things.
Ooh.
Yes.
Is that a toilet?
All right. So I know there's a lot of stuff on chat right now. That looks awesome. We've all set the interface experts. You're right, Kev Grant. That's for sure. Yeah, so that's just one of my main reasons, and I'm talking about one of the main reasons why I don't play it is it does have to do with the UI. It's just making sure that I enjoy looking at the games that I want to see playing it. So yeah. Mike Hawkert says, anyone getting the Buy Stuff Store racing cabs? If I didn't already have the TNT stand, iiRcade should offer console pedestal options. I am getting the Buy Stuff racing cab, and the transforming TV stand looks amazing. I'm really curious to see what the iiRcade 2.0 comes out with, and with their racing peripherals and all those other things and how you play games. Yeah, these are mostly button and stick games, and as a multicade, you want to keep the controls kind of near the same style as what the 6-button layout works for it. So I don't know how those racing games are going to play. All right, bad analogy. Saying it's good. Don't take this from us, B. All right, so Michael B and everybody has said Donut Dodo is like a revelation of a game. What do you think? What is Mrs. Kongzarus's first honest opinion of a new classic game? This is a new modern game. This isn't a game that's been released before. It's brand new, but it's in the style of old games. You saw Pac-Man, Dig Dug. I didn't even notice that look at this. It's Pac-Man, Dig Dug, Popeye, Donkey Kong are the names. It's just trying to like mimic one of those classic games. So give it to people. Look at the camera. What do you think about the Donut to Dodo?
Am I supposed to be playing or am I supposed to be talking to
Well,
people?
you want to play again just to get you a feel for it?
Yeah.
All right, play one more level.
It's cute. I mean, like, it's pretty simplistic what you're supposed to do for it. Nothing. Oh, shit balls.
Yes, there's
nothing fancy.
Mm-hmm.
But then, Donkey Kong, you can at least like fight like some of the people, right? I feel like.
No, you can't touch anybody. You do not. The toilet is not your friend in this game. Avoid the toilet and the little green thing. Avoid everything.
It's still kind of fun, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But would you say is your type of game though, or is this a type of game that you would normally play?
I play Earthworm Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Or like he's picking up cows. Yeah, this could be a type of game that I could play.
You want to give it another round?
I could.
Yeah. All right, you look at the chat while I give it a go. Then.
Okay, give her a drink and she's all good. That is very true, Al.
That's pretty much what she's looking for right now.
I'm done with this, actually. I'm done.
You're
I
done
need
with
another
it?
one.
You need to go get another drink?
Mm-hmm.
All right, go get another drink then. Let me talk to the peoples here.
Alrighty. I sweated all over your chair. It is very hot.
All right, super warm. So Donut Dodo. I played this game for about 15 minutes yesterday. And from my first impressions of the game, it's fun, but I don't know if it's like as hype as I've seen everybody's review videos. And maybe it's because I'm not an influencer. This has nothing to do with the Michael B or anybody else. I paid the $5.99 for the game. I am playing it. I'm getting owned. It's fun. But I mean, is it like the most exciting thing that I would just want to drop everything and play for? I don't know. So I don't know what I'm looking for in the iiRcade as a multicade. I think, the next thing that most people are talking about are really looking for titles, some other marquee things that actually would help round out the collection of what you have on your multicade. So that's probably the other big thing that is the biggest complaint about the iiRcade is just the actual selection itself. But I think beyond the selection, it's how I now search through the 300 plus games that they have on their menu screen. Is their store is the biggest thing that I think needs a new touch point. So beyond the user interface for the actual system itself, the store needs like a huge refresh. The store needs to be redone in a way that makes it just more enticing to find some of those hidden gems. So I think these are like two big things that if not actually working on new game releases, really need to be at the top of iiRcade's to-do list, is to update their UI interface for both playing games and selecting game menus, and then the actual store itself. So the store itself for the iiRcade is it's atrocious to go through. I know it has the top 10 list. You can buy a game for 30 minutes. You have to buy it and select it here. For any type of system where you want to explore just like your top games or things, it's just not a fun UI to look through. So I think those are just my two big sore points for wanting to get games. The interface, it works well. It syncs up in terms of downloading the games. But those are my big things about the iiRcade. So those are my main detractors. Other than that, the other things, the iiRcade. Let me bring this closer so you guys can see. This is it. What else is wrong about the iiRcade as it sits next to my Tron? The biggest complaint right now, right? It's the 2.0 version has the lit marquee. I don't want to spend more money on a 2.0 version now that I've gotten this. I don't know what I want to do with this Dragon's Lair version. I have the Dragon's Lair arcade 1-up coming pretty soon. And one of the things I was thinking about was selling this Dragon's Lair version of the iiRcade and then getting the arcade 1-up version because I like the look of it, and then wait for another 2.0 cab with a different skin that I really like. I don't like any of the other current 2.0 skins that are out at the moment, but I don't think I want 2 Dragon Slayer themed cabinets in my arcade. So,
Has a question
Mhm.
for you.
How dare you speak ill of Donut Dodo? Didn't you get the memo, B? The memo was speak your truths, be honest. And this is my honest truth. There's a Retro Buzz. There's Super Game Room dudes. I love it. So that's them. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about
Oh, cool.
the cab. Let's
So Arcado said.
let's go back.
Read it.
Let's go back.
Let's go back. So I don't have to yell.
Yeah. We can't hear you.
I know. That's why I'm yelling.
We're going back to our seats to finish the stream. All right.
Okay, so Arcade says the great thing about the iiRcade is that if you buy 2 cabinets, you can share the games you bought with others. So you only need to buy the game once. You can give the other cab to family. I think that's a better that's the thing about all these digital games is that you have to have somebody has to have one and you have to have one in order to play. But then say you just want to play because you want to play. So that's a nice feature of iiRcades.
It's just synced to your account. So he's just saying that you buy multiple ones. So you're saying I can buy 2 cabs and we can have the same game list?
Oh, wait, what? So the other cab has I thought you just have to buy if you're hosting the game, then you just have to be the one who owns the game. And somebody
No,
else can
both
play.
people have to host it,
Oh,
have
well
it, and then
Never mind.
but he was just saying
Arcado.
that say I bought one for my family member up north, they could also share my account.
They use your accounts.
And then be able to download
So
the
it's
same
not
game
tracking
list.
how many IPs are using the account.
I think so if you own multiple cabs, I think you can do that as well. So that's the fun thing about it. There is somebody I believe in Canada that has a bunch of the arcade 1-ups or our iiRcade skins.
Are you getting another
Bobby Vu special? So Bobby Vu is making a custom light box for this to drop onto your iiRcade 1.0. So he is working on a Dragon Slayer version of it at some point. I assume I will be hunting Bobby down for one. He's busy moving right now though, so he's really, really busy. I don't know where he's moving to. I think he's just moving in the same city into a bigger space, but he has orders up the wazoo. But yeah, I would really like to see that. I might be interested in a 2.0, but that's the thing. I might sell this in general, and
wow.
I think I might. I think I'm not playing it enough to kind of really justify the space for it. And until like a 2.0 comes out with a really big, nice version, it's because the other thing is I have the arcade 1-up single cab is coming, and I think that's where I'm at right now. I might need to sell it. Who knows? All right, are we gonna talk to the
Nooner says I'll upgrade when I see what's
actually coming game wise and how the controls
really?
are
So
going to integrate.
You don't see the game list.
So what he's talking about is the iiRcade 2.0 is going to have USB ports in the front, and then it's going to allow you to be able to integrate a trackball or a spinner or other things that Glenn's Retro Show, his products are going to be able to integrate with the panel. So you might be able to swap out control decks and put in a trackball or a spinner or a flight stick. And while that feels great, I think it's probably best for somebody that doesn't own several arcades like this. It's really meant for the person that has like room for 1, maybe 2 arcades, and they want to have that swappable multi-cade experience. It's just a almost turnkey multi-cade with different controls that's going to be better for that person. And so I just think anybody that's watching this show, a lot of folks that follow our channel, they're into building, I guess, a bigger home arcade. And I just don't know where the multi-cade fits into my home arcade at this moment in time. I do like being able to play some of the unique games. I would mostly gravitate to purchasing games that I can't play through other nefarious means, like P-Dub says. He says that we're all pirates.
The game room dudes actually had a table in the.
Yeah. They made it into the actual video game.
But they weren't just like in the fans. They had a table.
Yeah.
That was cute.
Yeah, and the Retro Buzz is in there too, so it's pretty cool. If we had been doing our Sunday Funday show over a year ago and made some noise, you could have been
I'm good.
Mrs. Kong's R Us lady character in the stands.
I'm good.
It's fun. Wouldn't you have liked to have seen Mrs. Kong's R Us digitized as a video game character? That could be fun.
She'd be like chilling with beer.
Should be cheers, chugging, doing a chugging contest.
Wait, what?
Chug. No, don't chug it.
No, this was at 6%.
I think that would have been fun to see you as a video game character. That's pretty cool.
I think we're good.
But yeah, so those are my honest truths about the iiRcade at the moment. I know it's Not the best review. It's not the most succinct. It's just kind of saying it out loud. It's having a conversation with the chat. But let's open it up to the chat and see what else is here in terms of what folks are looking at.
Chucky says Dragon's Lair will look great next to Tron.
Here?
Top, yeah.
Okay. He says the one-up Dragon's Lair will look next to the Tron. Yes, I agree. Tron is a very beautiful looking cabinet, and Dragon's Lair also a very beautiful looking cabinet.
It's really beautiful. We had the kids watch. They watched Tron Legacy and they actually recognized and said, "Oh, Dad has that one." I was like,
yeah, I like Tron Legacy, right? There it is. All right. Papa Brad's Game says piracy and modding go together like peanut butter and jelly. Shh, we're all pirates here. We're just playing games for the fun of it, right? We're just having fun. Chisto says iiRcade fanboys are breaking their pelvises wide. It's sad to watch. No, it's okay. I know there's a lot of people that love the iiRcade, and it's not to knock that community and that fan base. I'm just speaking kind of what the reality is for owning an iiRcade in a home that has multiple arcades, right? So it's nice looking. I don't play it as much. I would say the same exact thing about my MVSX, right? I turn it on just to showcase some things to my dad. My dad really likes playing the MVSX for some reason. There's some shoot 'em ups there. Yeah, the Neo Geo over there. Yeah, I rarely turn that one on.
That's true. I saw a question. Who was it? Was it Fox or somebody says which one do you play more, the Dragon's Lair or MVSX?
Yeah.
Which one do you play more?
Yeah. Which one?
The Dragon's Lair or NVSX?
Between those two?
Yes.
I probably play my iiRcade more.
Yeah,
sure. Because it has leaderboards and I like seeing my name on a leaderboard with something and playing against other people. But yeah, I'm not playing the MVSX because it's not connected. It's just like a regular
Brad G says if somebody had room for just one. Yeah.
All right. If somebody had room for just one single multicade, would you recommend the iiRcade or the AtGames Legends? That's a good one.
We haven't checked to see what other games they released, right?
Yeah. So the Legends, it's
have like a family game.
I do have a Legends mini downstairs inside of a box.
Wait, what?
Do you remember that Tetris cab that I told you that I got a long time ago?
The hell?
Yeah, it's sitting in the garage right now. And the main reason why I haven't put it together is because I fear that it will be the same thing as this one, where it will just be a multicade that barely gets any use. So I don't know.
I'm gonna have to put these all on surge protectors and turn them off and unplug them so they don't like zombie leech my electricity.
The CoinOps X feature on AtGames Legends products is nice to be able to scroll through, but it's slow. It's really, really chunky, Brad. And so for folks that are familiar with running a Raspberry Pi or a PC that can run some of those games, I would rather run a Pi on some sort of arcade cabinet and a mod than use CoinOps X through the AtGames interface, which you remember trying to navigate the interface on this device, right? That user device is the same interface on every AtGames product. So yeah, the full-size cab, everything is that same user interface, and it's just super clunky. That rivals the iiRcade in terms of being one of the worst UIs ever. So from a multi-cade standpoint, like I'd rather have the PC front ends than anything. So would I recommend for ease of use, I probably would recommend an iiRcade over AtGames, but it really just depends on what type of games you want to play, right? PC is the best, right? Just make your own. Make your own. All right, Papa Brad's Gaming says, it's okay when you reach Jedi level like B has, and you can play literally any game on a PC in a cab. It's fun. It's fun to play games when you have competition. Charlie Chuck says, a reminder that there is a block feature available in these chats. Right, no worries. All right, you don't have any affiliate links with any trucks. Oh, there's people that are going back and forth right now. Okay. Mike Hawk says, there are a lot of rumors, mostly created by myself, that the Evercade will be entering the home arcade market in 2023 with a cartridge-based arcade with the dynamic marquee. And Evercade is another retro arcade console that uses cartridges to play, here's all the Atari 2600 games, or here's all the games from this system. So yeah, it's just another game. I've never gotten an Evercade, so I really don't have much to say about it. But yeah, that would be interesting to see if there's any other home arcade companies that come into this market. It's pretty much dominated right now by Arcade1Up, AtGames, and iiRcade at the moment. There's been no news from any other companies in a long while. that's still continuing to make updates and put out products. So those are the 3 that we have at the moment. And it's funny, we were talking to people randomly about, hey, have you ever heard of Arcade 1-Up? Just like in general, like we're just talking to people and just like, hey, have I, because some people want to know what I do for fun, and I'm like, oh yeah, have you ever heard of Arcade 1-Up? They're like,
Nope.
No. It's not as big as we think it would be. I'm like, they've sold over 1 million cabs. Have you ever gone to like a Walmart or a Costco and seen these small arcades? Yeah. I think I've heard of those things. It's not as mainstream as I would think it would be, and for us making all this content. But yeah, I would be interested to see if there's another home arcade in the market. Lewis Chambers says, well, if someone is stepping out of line, detracting the discussion, okay, a mod is needed. Okay. Do we need to mod somebody? Okay. The sauce is for the AOU Mini. That's right. The sauce. I like the sauce.
Why is UCE cast?
Because UCE files are the files you need to run ROMs on the AtGames Legends Ultimate.
Got it.
So
Look
it's
at
called
my
South
of all trades
builds.
being all clever.
South builds. AtGames without CoinOps X, it would just be meh. But do you really play the CoinOps X games? I was excited to get CoinOps X running on my AtGames Legends when I first got it, just to test it out and check it out. I built my saucy build, the Yippee-Ki-Yay sauce 4.5 builds.
Everyone is also saying too. Ed Guy said.
Yeah. It's bothered me since day one that my original Dragon Slayer iiRcade does not have the lighted marquee, and I'm swapping it out for the 1-Up. Interesting.
So it's like that, like hook.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be able to see something.
This
aside
is
from
like-
having a nice picture on the front, you want it to be like blinky and like,
Mhm.
let me get your attention.
Yeah, because this isn't the original Dragon Slayer artwork either, too, or
Oh,
the
is
shape of the cab. So the original Dragon Slayer, it's a very unique looking shape cab. It's actually pretty plain. It's all black, but has a beautiful marquee. It's gonna be gorgeous, and it's gonna play like 3 games: Space Ace, Dragon Slayer 1, and Dragon Slayer 2. And I like those games. One of the reasons why I bought Dragon Slayer to play those games is because emulation for Daphne, which is what plays those Laserdisc games, was actually really hard. It was traditionally hard for me to get the Raspberry Pi versions of those games working properly and running. And I'm sure if I did it now, I could get it working. But 3 years ago or 2 years ago, when I was like, I just want to play Space Ace and Dragon Slayer, I was like, sweet, it's already coming out. I'm totally going to play those games on that. And this is before Arcade 1-Up said they were going to release an Arcade 1-Up Dragon Slayer. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have gotten this. If they never skinned this as a Dragon Slayer, I was never going to pick up an iiRcade. But I was a fan of Dragon Slayer. I don't know why, it just enamored me growing up in the arcades, and like I sucked at it, but I wanted to play it.
Like
and so
RPG-ish.
it's not. It's a terrible game, actually, right? So have you played it?
I've watched you play.
You watched me play it, right? Yeah, you just move your arrows up, down, left, right, and press a button for a sword, and that's it. But the fun thing about this version of the game is it has the arrows and the buttons that you press, and so that makes me play the game easier.
Part of it's also like the story of it too, because our son's playing
It's
Final
fun.
Fantasy 15, and
Yeah.
like part of it's the story, right? You want to follow along.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I can't make moderators here. Okay. The arrows are cheating. The arrow is not cheating. I embrace being an arrow knight. If you talk to Prentice Howard, like when I put my high score on the Dragon Slayer cabinet, I'm actually curious to see what my high score is. I put myself as Kongzerus, hashtag the arrow knight. I own the fact that I love playing with the arrows because, it's how you learn the game. How else are you going to do that? Am I getting Blitz or no? Ooh, that's a good one. NFL Blitz. Have you ever played that game? Do you remember that game?
Kind of.
Yeah, it was an arcade game focusing on the
Football.
brutality of football in the late 90s, but you're just like beating. It's like NBA Jam, but football, kind of.
So you don't really pass the ball.
Yeah,
just
you
mostly
do.
run people
Yeah,
over.
you run people over, you tackle them, do all that stuff.
Ah.
Honestly, I've never been a huge sports video game fan. So NBA Jam,
I feel
Blitz, all those things.
Matt Manson is calling you
Yeah.
out.
What's the point of playing Dragon Slayer when all you're doing is looking at the arrows? Because it's fun to see it progress to the next stage.
It's all about the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
it's
talking about earlier.
I like testing my reflexes, Matt. So like when I'm watching the
Hey, buddy.
synchronization of the video and the arrow, it's almost like playing DDR or rhythm based game for me. So I kind of excel in those types of games where there's like some sort of, hey, follow the action and like press the thing. So that's that I was attracted to that. It was actually really fun to play through it and see how good I can get with memorizing. If I wanted to, I probably could memorize the patterns and play through Dragon's Lair. But yeah, shame on Kong. I'm not, no shame.
Oh,
No shame.
person.
Yeah, you have to turn off the guy. All right, all these people are giving me smack for playing Dragon's Lair without it. But the arcade 1-up version will not have that, so I will have to test out how good my gameplay will be with that without the arrows.
Hey,
so
buddy.
we will see.
Whoa.
Oh, the other thing that's gonna suck about the
Whoa.
arcade 1-up Dragon's Lair cabinets though
Come here, bud.
is that I don't
Yes,
believe that they're Wi-Fi enabled because I don't think they would have shown up on the FCC site by now if there's leaderboards. Does anybody remember if there's leaderboards at all for Dragon's Lair? I don't know if there is, because that's actually one of the big things that I really like playing this. So he says Dragon's Lair is not meant to be played like DDR. I was just giving you an example of the arrows, right? What's another video game where you see arrows and you press the button as it gets to the screen, right? Okay, let me use another different version of a game. Parappa the Rapper. All right, it's like Parappa the Rapper. Let's see an arrow when it shows up, and you hit the button when you see it. So it was a fun type of game that I like to see. You see an arrow or a function, and you press it at the right time. That's exactly what Dragon's Lair is. You can memorize it. You could watch what you're supposed to do. But yeah, that's how I learned the game. It was fun. I didn't have the money to play it in the arcade and learn the game and just waste quarters all the time. So I'm learning the game. All right. He's saying, if an object is having Dragon's Lair, most beginners can learn from the game using the arrows. It's not a bad thing. See, you're making a good point. Otherwise, I would have spent lots of money dying in the arcades playing that game so much. So, man. Oh, Brad D knows. Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. If you want to test me, I'll show you fine. The things that get ya. The kick.
No words.
Punch.
No words.
I don't remember the words. Yeah. Ricardo says, as a kid, you would never play that game, but you'd rather spend quarters. You'd rather play Mad Dog McCree, considering that both costed $1 back then for one round. Yeah, the other Laserdisc games are pretty fun to play. Especially the Laserdisc light gun games that I've been playing on my gun cab. I just got my guns back from Raymond Arpego Electronics, who did some upgrades on my guns. They're amazing. So those light gun games are pretty fun to play too.
With 1 minute left, what do you want to tell the audience?
So the iiRcade is a fun cabinet to own if you only have one. Is that the moral of the story that we're gonna say and go with?
Vamos.
Yeah, it's been fun. So I guess just to wrap it up, those are my main points. I as a MultiCade, I'm just learning myself that I'm not as fan of a MultiCade as I thought I was. In terms of playing it, I love building them. I love putting them into cabinets. I love modding them and getting them set up. I love helping other people get their stuff set up. In fact, I've done that for the last 2 years, and
so
I'm
we
finally
get rid of
retiring.
all this. All right, fire sale. Who wants to buy in Dragon's Lair
No.
iiRcade?
Well, maybe that
$500 best offer.
might be going up for sale pretty soon.
$500.
Nobody's gonna buy that for $500. It's not even worth $500.
$250.
No.
Oh my
stop.
God, it's 50% off.
Stop. It's not. So yeah, but it's I would say for anybody that has a full-on home arcade, it feels just a little bit out of place. I think it's great for those little niche games that you want to play, but it hasn't been something that I found myself gravitating to. But everybody's different.
Terry Red, do you want to buy a Dragon's Lair arcade for $250?
Michael Valche says, "Gold, sold." No, it's because I'm gonna get the moral of the story is I'm gonna buy a premium Lair Dragon or premium Godzilla. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Well, it's 6 o'clock. Everybody go check out 9TK Fox. I tried to do the redirect. It's not going to redirect you there, but if you haven't already checked them out, 9TK Fox is doing a show. Thank you all so much for joining tonight. Have a wonderful evening. Happy Sunday Funday. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next time. Bye, everybody.
$250 or best offer.
No, stop.